Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here with something a little bit different. Now I get this question asked every single year when we jump into the F1 games, so I thought today we're just going to get right into it and go through my wheel settings here for F1 2021. Now for those of you that are wondering as well, I rock a... I didn't expect to do that to the game. Anyway, I rock a Fanatec CSL V2 rim on the Fanatec CSL Elite PS4 edition wheelbase at the moment. Hopefully not for much longer. I've actually pre-ordered one of the Fanatec CSL DD wheels as well, so that should be hopefully arriving in the next couple of months as well. But yeah, a really good wheel, a really nice rim as well, obviously of course, for all of my Fanatec stuff. I've actually got a few other rims as well that some of you guys might have seen. This is my CSL P1. I've also got an R330 rim, and last but certainly not least, I've also got a McLaren GT3 rim as well. So safe to say, you know, I do take this stuff fairly seriously at the end of the day though. But, of course, the Formula V2 is the one I generally use for the F1 games. Now, obviously, to manage your wheel settings on F1 2021, actually pretty simple for the most part. Head into game options on the main page, then you go into settings, and then of course down to controls, vibration, and force feedback. You'll see, obviously, if you've got a Fanatec wheel, there are a load of presets. Obviously Thrustmaster as well. I actually used to rock a Thrustmaster wheel as well, and of course Logitech and Mad Catz down right at the end of the order as well, of course. But obviously we've selected the Club Sport steering wheel Formula V2 obviously for this one. Now in terms of our settings within it though, obviously these are all my binds. They're all standard on F1 2021, you know, nothing changed for myself. They're obviously pit limiter and DRS, the exact same button there. Go through the MFD with the switch as well, then you can see everything else as well. Obviously fairly standard stuff. If you want to see this, you can pause it, but I just use the standard default stuff in the game for my binds on F1 2021. Now, in terms of the vibration and force feedback, however, slightly different actually to F1 2020 in some very strange ways. Now obviously vibration and force feedback is on, vibration and force feedback strength is 100. I generally like quite a heavy steering rack with when I'm racing on the Formula 1 games as well. They, you know, really, you know, it's not the most powerful thing in the world. I'll run through the wheel settings as well, like inside the Fanatec base as well, of course. So I run 100 on the vibration and force feedbacks. On-track effects, I only run 10. That's obviously for things like grass and gravel and things like that. Generally, you get a pretty good idea if you're on those, so you don't really need sort of that too high. You shouldn't be spending time on the grass or gravel on the F1 games as well. It's not quite Dirt Rally on that as well. That obviously, rumble strip effects is 30. I like to know, you know, obviously when the car's on the curbs, you do want to be using a lot of those on F1 2021 as well, of course, you know, trying to maximize the track width, everything like that. So that one's ran on 30, just a little bit more. Then you can see the off-track effects as well. Obviously, very similar to the on-track effects, of course. Obviously, that is, sorry, grass and gravel on F1 2021. On-track effects is like bumps and stuff on the track. For places like Suzuka, it's just horrendous. If you've got the FFB too high with the on-track effects there, that's why it's turned down pretty low there. And then the wheel damper as well is on just 5. So the strength of tyre forces through the wheel, generally you've got a pretty good idea. You can feel it pretty well through the Fanatec wheels generally anyway, whether the car's starting to understeer or everything like that. And the understeer enhance is also set to on. I'm still testing that. I might turn it off down the line, but it's what I've ran on F1 2020 in the past. I personally think it is quite useful. You know, if you can find that bite point, which I've been struggling with at the start of the game, you know, you can get a whole lot quicker very quickly with that as well. So let's head over then to my Fanatec rim. Of course, for those of you guys that don't have a Fanatec wheel, you won't have to worry about any of this. This is like inside your base, sort of what your wheel does. So sensitivity, I've actually got it on 900 this game. Now, maximum wheel rotation in game is still set to 360, but for some reason 900 this time around works. I'm not going to knock it. That is obviously the maximum wheel rotation inside the game. Obviously, I like running 900. It's what I use for every other game in the past. It was always a nightmare going back to F1, having to change it to 360, so I think they've finally sorted it out, and it does run 900 like the base itself does as well. The force feedback I've got set to 100 again. Sometimes I've ran it a little bit higher, but generally 100 still works quite well for me. The drift mode I've got set to off. It used to be on -5 on F1 2020, but I did turn it off at the end after a few of you guys said it made no sense having it on -5. It was exactly the same as having it off as well now. Now the force effect as well, that is set to 50. Then the brake level I've got set to off as well. Their shock vibration is set to 100. The MPS.FNC, not 100% sure what that is, I won't lie to you guys, is set to automatic. And then the brake force as well is set to 50. I like a really heavy brake now. Obviously, I rock the Loadcell kit on the Fanatec wheel as well, so you have got to be really, really aggressive when you're on the brakes there, but I do prefer having it quite hard still in comparison. I used to run it at like 20-30%, but I found more recently, as you know, I've sort of got more used to the wheel as well, I'm able to hold it at 50 pretty stably as well there. So all those will be left down in the comments below for you guys as well, or down in the description even, I should say, for you guys as well, you know, that are using Fanatec wheels. Like I said, I've spent years tweaking and fine-tuning this on the F1 games. Generally, the force feedback model within the game stays pretty similar year on year, so I think, to be honest, F1 actually transfers it over between each game as well now for you guys. Obviously, if you've got a save on one game, it should transfer over onto the next game as well for you there. But thank you all so much for watching this video nonetheless. If you have enjoyed, do make sure to leave a like and get yourself subscribed. Obviously, like we keep saying, trying to hit 20,000 subscribers on the channel at the moment. So if you can help us get one step closer to that, it would be greatly, greatly appreciated as well, of course. But yeah, that is it then for our Fanatec wheel settings. Of course, I will let you know down the line if I do change them around. I know some of you guys will ask for my camera settings as well. As of right now, that is completely default. So obviously down the line, if we do change anything up on F1 2021, of course, I will let you guys know as well. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and we will be back very, very soon with more F1 2021 content. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive, massive thank you to the Travesty, Patrick and Chuan for being a member of the channel. If you guys want to help us out as well, obviously you can join for just £1 a month with some other exclusive perks by clicking the join button down below.